Time travel is a pretty phenomenal and confusing topic that a lot of people are skeptical is even possible. Regardless of whether or not it is possible, there have been many movies and books based off such concepts. About 15 years ago, however, someone made a lot of people question how close we truly are to inventing time travel. In 2001, a man by the name of John Titor created a post on the now-defunct forum called ArtBell, claiming that he was a military time traveler from 2036. His first post read, "Greetings, I am a time traveler from the year 2036. I am on my way home after getting an IBM 5100 computer system from the year 1975. My time machine is a stationary mass temporal displacement unit manufactured by General Electric. The unit is powered by two topspin dual positive singularities that produces a standard offset Tipler sinusoid. I'll be happy to post pictures of the unit." Obviously, people weren't just prepared to automatically believe this guy just because he says he's a time traveler, so a lot of people asked him for proof. One of the first pieces of evidence he provided were pictures of his time machine along with the manuals to go along with it. A lot of John's responses to people seemed pretty believable, and he went into a lot of detail when explaining what it felt like to time travel and everything. A lot of people that spoke with John Titor felt very convinced that he was legitimate. Now, this is pretty convincing, but it isn't exactly proof. The longer John Titor posted on the forums, the more inconsistencies appeared in his story, and more things just didn't seem right. On March 21st, 2001, John Titor made a final post saying he was leaving to return back to the year 2036, and after that, no one ever heard from him again. One thing John Titor did do before he left was leave a bunch of predictions that were supposed to come true in the future. So, if these predictions he made did come true, that would be extremely satisfying proof that he is a real time traveler. So, let's take a look at some of his predictions. One of his predictions claimed that a world war in 2015 killed 3 billion people. Well, it's 2016, and I don't recall anything like that ever happening. He also said the Olympics would be cancelled after 2004, with a chance of starting up again in 2040. Once again, the Olympics were never cancelled. Another prediction was that a civil war would happen in 2004, consume everyone in the US in 2012, and then end in 2015 after a brief World War III. This never happened either. He even predicted that the Y2K glitch would cause a lot of people to die, which also never happened. So, those are some pretty crazy predictions that never happened, which you'd think would be proof that John Titor is a fraud. Well, not exactly. He actually does have an excuse set up for this. He says that the further he goes through time, the more of a divergence is created. The best way I can describe this is in a sense of parallel universes, so the timeline we are in may not be the same one that John Titor was from. He said there was a 2.5% divergence, which means the timeline we are in is 2.5% different than the one he is from. A lot of people account this divergence for the reason that a lot of his predictions turned out incorrect. To me, this just seems like a really convenient excuse to get predictions wrong without losing credibility. If he gets something wrong, he can just say it's because of the divergence. No matter what, he can never be proven wrong. But still, a 2.5% difference isn't that large. He still should have gotten a lot of predictions right, but you saw how drastically wrong those last few were. So this leaves the question as to whether or not he was able to get any predictions correct. Well, that depends on what you mean by correct. There were a couple that he sort of got right, but they were vague. He mentioned an overheating of a space shuttle in one prediction. Some people think he was referring to the Columbia Space Shuttle disaster, which happened in 2003. On the space shuttle, one of the wings was damaged and superheated air breached the wing, causing the shuttle to disintegrate. Another prediction he sort of got right was a prediction in which he stated the West would become very unstable and China would expand. Apparently, China actually has been growing fairly well, while the US economy isn't that great. Once again, whether or not you consider these predictions to be hits is up to you, since they're sort of on the vague side. At the end of the day, no one really knows who John Titor was or if he was real or not, but in my personal opinion, I find it hard to believe. The only way I'd really believe this is if a time traveler came back and made a specific future prediction that actually came true. But with what we know, there isn't any proof that John Titor was real. Sure, this doesn't prove that he was fake, but it doesn't prove he's real either. What do you think? Was John Titor a legitimate time traveler, or just someone messing with people? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the flip side.